Okay, so we're going to go into the second hive here. We went into the first hive and was unable to locate the queen or any eggs. The queen cage is empty. They chewed through the marshmallow and it's empty. And I wanted to give it a little bit more time. So we're going to give it maybe another week and look and see if we can spot the larvae and things. A lot of the frames are still filled or full from when we had the honey in there, but bees are bringing pollen in. I can see them coming in with the pollen. So we're hopeful that maybe they're just pretty active right now, also dealing with the amount of honey, nectar, and pollen that are in the frames from this previous season or year. So let's go into the next one and see if we can't locate the queen. Again, they're marked queens. It shouldn't be that difficult, but it's not easy. Take a quick look and make sure she's not, for some unknown reason, on the top of the inner cover. So we're just going to pull that off there. And here's the cage. And again, we went ahead and used rubber bands just because we didn't want the cage to slide around. And we're going to cut those rubber bands off. Normally I would not pull a frame from this part of the hive. I'm going to work down this side a little bit first. Just to be able to pull some of the frames from this end, and maybe it'll be a little easier then to get the other ones out. Top frames are less built out, so there's less stuff in here. Less, I say stuff, but I'll call it honey and nectar and pollen. They are drawn out somewhat, meaning that the bees have put the wax on there. And again, a lot of this is from the previous season because we had a lot of activity in there. This frame here is filled with honey and stuff, so I'm going to leave that one sit for now. I'm going to go ahead and try to pop this one off. There we go. Okay, again, it's a frame drawn out. And we're going to work our way back this way now. That's the order of the frames. We try to keep them in the same order. This is the frame that we had the queen cage on, and it's still on there. Basically, the queen cage gets stuck on there because of the bees, but we want to see that the queen is out and all of the other bees are out. They've chewed through the marshmallow. If you come out a little closer, you can see basically how that queen cage just sits on there, and there's where the marshmallow is in that hole. Right there. So these are the bees. We're looking for one that's marked, sort of a fluorescent orange marking. You have to be careful because you can see some of the bees with the pollen that look a little bit like the marked queen, but it's not. So there's the queen cage. I'm just going to take that and move that out of the way. And again, we're looking for the queen that's marked, or potentially any larva that she may have laid. I don't see anything there, and we're going to try to move, I don't want to say quickly, but rather quickly through the frames because the bees do get excited, if you will, and they're excited now. The smoke will disorient them a little bit, also drive them down into the hive a little bit if it's effective. So just going to work through a couple more of these frames. You can see how active they are. Lots of bees. Lots of bees. Not so many on that side, but lots of bees. Oh, here's the queen. Let me get this off here first. Okay, so we got the queen is here. I haven't seen any eggs or anything yet, but the queen is here, and we don't want her to fly away because they can clip the wings of the queen and then she won't fly. Ours is not clipped, so she can fly.
Where is she?
Give me a second here and I'll relocate her. You'll see her. There she is. See the fluorescent orange on her back? Right here, so here's the queen.
Yep.
So there's the queen in this hive. Not nearly as difficult to locate as the other one, even though we did not locate the other queen. We're, I say certain or pretty certain that she's in there. We'll, I'll say, do a better job in doing that. We just didn't want to rouse up the hive so much. But there's the queen, and she's moving among the bees very vigorously. So I'm very happy and satisfied with this. You can see some of the other bees that are in there and working, that they do have some pollen attached to them. So again, we're going to continue to develop this. I'm going to put this back so that we don't injure or hurt the queen. Okay?
Mm-hmm.